Doing the same thing you always do will always lead you in the same place. It's time to make a change in your life and try something else. Let's try a program designed to help you recover from addiction and start a bright new future.
Drug Court can help you become drug and alcohol free.
In Drug Court, the court plays an active role in helping you reach your recovery goals by offering programming that includes counseling, in and outpatient treatment, and other services.
Drug Court has been in New Jersey and over 4,000 people have completed it successfully. Their participation in the program has changed and in many cases saved their lives. This can happen to you.
Four adjectives I would use to describe my life before Drug Court would be horrible, humiliated, irresponsible, and unproductive. Well, there's a lot of things you hear when you're at that decision-making process, and most of them is negative. Things you hear on Drug Court is that it's a trap-off. You're not going to be able to complete it. It's a racist program. It's biased, and it's almost impossible to complete. Yeah, I absolutely changed my mind about participating in the Drug Court program. For me personally, I was totally done. I mean, I knew I was done with that life that I was living, and I just needed a change. So Drug Court was the appropriate change for me. All of my relationships now are getting, relationships changed to the point that they're getting, everything's getting better. I mean, relationships with my grandkids, my relationship with my kids, my parents still alive, so we have a lot better relationship going right now. So everything is getting better. Four things I would say that I feel now after being a part of Drug Court. I feel happy. I feel that I'm responsible. I feel more productive. And I feel alive, most importantly. I would recommend Drug Court to other people for two reasons. One, it's life-saving. Two, it's life-changing. Program that if you're willing to do the work, then it'll definitely change your life. When you talk about getting clean in jail, there are certain obstacles that you don't face in jail that you face when you leave. I mean, in jail is very structured. It's a lot harder to get the substance that you want. Everything is structured for you. They tell you when to eat, when to go to bed, when to sleep, everything. But when you get out and you're in the real world, you have a lot more obstacles to get over. I mean, your drug dealer might be outside your door, or you may be walking down the street, or you might just be going to work and you run into that person that you used to get high with, or whatever it may be. And you have so much more opportunity to use than you do in jail. There's a lot more stresses on the outside. Everything is taken care of for you on the inside. When you get out, you have to deal with those things on your own. So it's a lot more difficult on the outside. Drug Court helps me every day get through many difficulties. I mean, they give you so many different tools to use. And with Drug Court, I'm able to use those tools and get through my day. And I just feel great right now.
Four adjectives I would use to describe my life before Drug Court would be dishonest, sneaky, deceitful, and untrustworthy. I didn't choose Drug Court at first because everything I had heard about it was negative. I heard it was a setup, you're gonna fail. And of course the people that I were hearing it from was people that I was in jail with. So it was only the people that had a negative experience. I never had an opportunity to hear anything positive about it. So I really just thought my only option at that point in my life was to take my prison time, because I didn't see myself being able to succeed with the Drug Court program. I eventually chose Drug Court because I really only had two options, either drug court or prison. And there was something deeper inside of me at that moment when I was in jail that I realized something had to change and I had to do something differently. I went up in front of the judge and he told me my option was drug court or prison. And, I went back to the jail and I was like, I'm just gonna take my prison time. There's no way that I can do this. I can't stop using. I'm not gonna succeed. I'm gonna end up in prison anyway. But after a few more days of thinking about it, something kind of shifted within me and I wanted to give myself a shot, and I didn't want to listen to what other people were saying, and I wanted to see if I could actually do it for myself. My relationships have changed since completing drug court dramatically, like drastically. I wouldn't even say that I had relationships before drug court because I didn't know what a healthy relationship consisted of. Even the relationships with my family, it was always about what you can do for me. I didn't have real friends. It was using buddies. I was only friends with them because they had something that I wanted and vice versa. But now, especially with my parents, I value my relationship with them because I didn't see how important they were to me before, and the damage that I caused and how much hurt and pain that I put them through from my using. And my dad used to call me a terrorist. That's how he felt living in the house with me. And now, I want a relationship with my family. I want to just be there for them. And I know what a loving, caring relationship really looks like today. And I never knew what that was before. Adjectives I would use to describe my life now after completing drug court would be successful, transformative, willing, and free. I would recommend drug court to other people because it really gives you an opportunity to change as a person. And for me, taking drug court was the hardest thing that I had ever done in my life, but it was the best thing. It was the best choice I've ever made in my entire life, because I wouldn't be sitting here today, the woman that I am today in recovery, if it wasn't for this program. It really showed me how to live my life without drugs and alcohol. And I would definitely tell people, don't listen to the negativity that you hear and the stigma that is attached to drug court. If you want to change and you're done using, this is the best option for you. Well, my sister and I were running partners, and everything we did it together. We got arrested together, we went to jail together, and we got sentenced to drug court together. However, I actually know for 100% I would not have been successful in the drug court program if we were not separated in the beginning. She went to a treatment program and I went to a separate treatment program, and we were separated for over 17 months. And it was the best thing for both of us because we're so codependent, and usually siblings are that are as close as us, that I know if we went somewhere together, we would feed off of each other. And one of the things that kept me going while I was in treatment at my weak moments when I wanted to leave, or, I felt like I couldn't do it anymore, I would just think about my sister and know that, she's somewhere and she's doing it, so I'm gonna do it too. But it wouldn't have been possible if we were together. I definitely think that you need to, if you're close with a sibling, I think you need to learn how to be your own person and grow separately so you can have a healthy relationship in the future, because it's not possible doing it together.
Some adjectives I would use to describe my life before drug court would be dysfunctional, immoral, insane, and disgusting. I didn't want to choose drug court when it was first offered because of the rumors I had heard about it. The setup and sanctions and going back to jail and 5 years probation. That's probably why. I eventually chose drug court because the number one reason I was going to stay sober. The second reason is I really wanted to give my family peace of mind, and that I didn't want to be locked up like an animal anymore. That's why. My relationships with people changed since I began drug court in such a positive way. I can't even describe it. It's nothing short of a miracle. My family relationships have been restored. My family has so much trust and faith in me. My work relationships, my boss gave me a key to her shop. I do her payroll. Like, you just do the right thing and the right thing happens. Some adjectives I would use to describe my life now that I'm in drug court are phenomenal, unbelievable, positive, miraculous. I would recommend drug court because you're free. You're able to live life outside of the bars, the prison. The network of people that you meet, the opportunities you have, I would recommend it to anybody. If it was offered, I would recommend. I just think it's a new way of life. It's like a new way to recover, to restore your life. My secret to success in drug court is 3 basic rules: stay sober, show up, and abide by your curfew. The other things will fall into place: finding a job, handling your fines. It might seem a little complicated at first, but it works itself out. As long as you stay sober, usually everything else falls into place.
Some adjectives I would use to describe my life before drug court would be self-centered, deplorable, untrustworthy, and lost. I didn't choose drug court the first time around because I had not really heard anything positive about it. And maybe I know now, looking back, it was because of the people that I surrounded myself with, just weren't positive people. I hadn't known anyone at that point in time to succeed drug court, and I had never been able to complete any program or rehabilitation, and I just wasn't ready. I think when I finally decided to choose drug court, I was so emotionally broken, and I had finally gotten to a place where I just wanted to try something different. And the fact that I was able to have a second chance, to be offered it, I made a decision to just, why not? Like, I failed at everything else, why not just give something different a try? Since completing drug court, my relationships have changed just simply in the way that I didn't have any relationships. I didn't have any friends. I don't think I really knew like what an actual healthy relationship consisted of. I have friends now. My parents don't have everything under lock and key. I'm honest, and people respect me, because my actions are respectable. I have true friends. I value them. I have friendships because it's a give and take. I genuinely want to help people and get to know people, and my parents trust me like they never have before, and I have a relationship with myself, and that's like the best thing. A few adjectives I would use to describe my life now after drug court would be hardworking, flourishing, victorious, and optimistic.
I would definitely recommend drug court to other people because it's given me a life back. When you first asked me that, I said it's given me a life back, but I didn't have a life. It's given me a life. It's given me a purpose. It's a design for living. You know, it's structure for junkies like me who can't stay clean. And I needed it. And it's, you know, as long as they're at least slightly willing to try to do something different, the doors for success will just continue to open. I thought I had no chances of success on the drug court program because I am a junkie through and through. I was an IV heroin user for multiple years. I could never complete a program successfully. I was always manipulating or finding a way to sign myself out. And I honestly, when I took drug court, I 100% believed it was unattainable. My parents told me not to take it. They didn't even believe that I could do it. The COs in the jails that I would be in also told me, you know, we see people time and time again, you know, drug court is it's a setup, like you can't do it. Actually, right before I was getting sentenced and I decided to take it, they said, are you sure you want to do this? Like, maybe you should rethink this. But there was just a piece of me that I just had to try because I'd failed at everything else, so I had nothing to lose.
So my name is Mike. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and I am a drug court graduate, and I'm a member of the Alumni Association. So one of the things the Alumni Association can do to continue recovery, especially after you graduate from the drug court, is you get to be a member of the Alumni Association. You get to continue one of the main and instrumental pieces of your recovery, which is to be of service, which is to help others, which is to not only be a beacon of light, so to speak, to the current participants and a guidance for them, but you get to spread the message of recovery to the communities, to schools, and to really shout out that drug court works. So one of the things, maybe a couple of the things that I would mention to somebody considering drug court is, number one, don't necessarily listen to everything you hear about it, because a lot of times you're getting opinions from people that don't actually have experience with drug court. They hear horror stories. So I think one of the reasons we're even reaching out to you in this manner is because we can tell you that drug court works. We can tell you that as graduates and as members of the Alumni Association, we're still clean and sober. We've met the conditions of drug court. We can look back and say, yeah, there were a couple struggles and there was maybe some times when we didn't necessarily want to engage all the way, but we've made it through.